opened their World Cup this summer with quite a thumping win over Paraguay. We're going to get to that in just a bit, but welcome to this special edition of ESPN FC. I am Alexis Nunes alongside Jurgen Klinsmann, Herculez Gomez, and Jermaine Jones. And the people and the fans are streaming out behind us, and there will be many, many happy faces going to bed tonight after what was a convincing performance from the U.S. men's national team. We've been counting down to this fixture all day long, but guys, it feels like we've been counting down to this fixture for the last 4 years. Casey called it almost a preseason, and goals from Flo Balogun, not just one, but two, and then an absolute stunner of a goal from Gio Reyna just added the cherry on what was a perfect opening game from the U.S. men's national team, Jurgen. That's what we wanted to see.
That's what you want to see. I mean, on home soil, your first game, you score 4 goals. It can't get any better. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Great energy, atmosphere in the stadium, unbelievable. And one goal more beautiful than the other. And that should give them such a boost of confidence, so much belief to go really, really far in this tournament. But you need a win like that to start a tournament off. And I think they can ride the wave now.
Over 70,000 packing into the Los Angeles Stadium to see this one. They were in the presence of big-name celebrities, Katy Perry, Tom Cruise, and, like I keep saying, Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. But 4-1 win for the USA. Jermaine, you came closest to the prediction. You said 3-1, but you'll take the extra goal all day, every day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I was surprised, and I think we all were surprised, like how the team came out, how they were flying, and I think the first 45 minutes they were completely controlling the whole game with the ball and against the ball. And I think scoring then the goals, I think the bravery, you know, the discipline in the game, it was just a perfect 45 minutes. And I think you have to pick up Tillman, you have to say Christian Pulisic. They were just showing that they're difference makers, and I think they showed us in with amazing goals, what Jürgen schon already said. It was beautiful to see, and I think we're all happy right now.
Well, our Casey Keller is going to join us later on in the show, because he, as well as Jermaine and Jurgen, all predicted wins for the USA tonight. But Herculez Gomez, Herc, you predicted a draw in this one. Did Paraguay underwhelm?
No, we're not talking about Paraguay right now. That would be.
I'm just saying, because you.
That would be a disservice to the U.S. men's national team. I cannot believe what my eyes have just seen.
Wow.
The most complete performance under Mauricio Pochettino came at the World Cup. The first time we ever see the starting 11, and it was a complete dominance. The first half was as good as I've seen any national team play in any tournament, let alone the World Cup. I said it only rivaled the Portugal first half, 2002, because that Portuguese team was a contender. Yeah. That Portuguese team had a golden generation. This was ridiculous. I have to give Mauricio Pochettino his flowers. When you see the movement of the players in the first half, the intensity, the discipline in which Jermaine had spoken about, I cannot pick out a bad performance from one single U.S. men's national team player. From front to back, from start to finish, it was a complete domination of a team that only gave up 6 goals under Gustavo Alfaro in World Cup qualifying, that made teams like Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil for long stretches and moments lose the game and look bad. This was all the USA. So we could sit here and say what Paraguay did not do, but the U.S. men's national team forced them into those positions.
Yeah, Jurgen, it's amazing to hear Herc explain it right now, because he did predict a draw in this one. But truthfully, I don't know if any of us expected quite a dominant performance from the U.S. men's national team. You've overseen many great performances from a U.S. team, but where does this one rank with you? Is it, like Herc says, probably one of the best we have ever seen from a U.S. team?
Yeah, absolutely. If I look back, one of the absolute top 3 performances of a U.S. team the last 20, 25 years. It was just so much fun to see. Obviously, it was a bit lucky. The first goal was an own goal, but who cares? I mean, the lead up to the goal was brilliant. One player stood out first half. I'm not saying above the others, because they were all good, as Herc said, but Christian Pulisic, he put up a show. How he kind of prepared certain plays, how he took people on, his movement off the ball, but also how he joined in aggressively to win the ball back. And then Balogun had 2 brilliant moments, scored 2 goals, his first 2 goals in a right. World Cup. And so many things kind of came together, but it was a complete performance. Everyone was on the same page. the way they won the balls back as soon as they lost the balls. I mean, that pressure, Paraguay could not even breathe the first 45 minutes. They didn't know what to do. Second half was a little bit different, but it's normal, after a brilliant half like that, No, it's huge compliments to all of them.
JJ, we've spoken so much about how much help an early goal can be for the U.S. men's national team, especially just giving them that relief and that freedom to play their game. Of course, it was an own goal, but still, it did the job. Was that the moment the game changed for you?
Yes, because the game opens up. And Paraguay is a team they want to sit, they want to keep it tight. And with the own goal, they had to open up. They had to come, and the game will go open. And then you have just a team too. With us, the US is a team too. Well, I always say it's a transition team. So and you were able to see then when we get the Christian Pulisic on the left side, if we get him the 1-against-1s, that even the bravery to go take on 2 players. And then even the smartness to understand that the player you're playing against has a yellow card, and you're going always again against him. That is just the key points where I say, like, you see the difference on that key players in the team. But again, today we have to say that all of the guys who stand on this field played an a high performance. And I think, you have to, with all the criticism and what we said and before, we go hard against them. We have to say today, you have to take the hat from the whole group because they played a really good game.
Herc, was that your game-changing moment of the match as well, that first goal?
No, but it's a very important moment. Jurgen stressed it that he wanted to see an early goal because it would ease up the nerves for the players, it would open the game up. But I think the moment they fabricate their own goal, Follower Balogun scores the second goal, gives the U.S. men's national team a belief they didn't have until that moment, and then they just foot on the accelerator. And as JJ was saying, they could not allow Paraguay to breathe. They pinned them in their own half. They were constantly, it was third man runners, which I think is very smart of what Pochettino had done. You had mentioned the U.S. men's national team is a transition team, and I agree with you. But in this game, there's nowhere to transition because Paraguay's sitting back. They're no longer in a mid-block. They are in a low block. There is no space. So he throws out Weston McKennie to the right. He throws out Christian Pulisic to the left. And now it's deep midfield runs, second, third man running, and they can't keep track of these players. Oftentimes, the U.S. men's national team had 5 to 6 players in the final third in the box making runs, forcing Paraguay into precarious positions, forcing them to make individual errors, and they just would not allow. They were relentless. I thought it was beautifully done. I joked when I saw the kickoff play that they think they're PSG, Luis Enrique, they kicked that out of bounds, and then they end up playing like PSG. I cannot stress how impressive it was. It's the first time they've ever put up these numbers.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've been dominant in a World Cup. It's not the first time they beat Paraguay in a World Cup, but the last time they did, they made it to a semifinal.
The U.S. men's national team playing like PSG, 2-time Champions League winners. I did not have that comparison on my bingo card this year. Jurgen, you had a nice chuckle when Herc said it, but can you see the similarities there?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying they impressed us.
But they impressed, yes. And that means that Mauricio Pochettino got his 11 perfectly right, Jurgen.
Absolutely perfectly right. But you know what it does, a win like that, when you open up a World Cup with such a fantastic performance, it gives you the spirit is just growing now every day. So that group will become hunger every day. So they are ready for the second game against Australia, doing the same stuff, being relentless. They're asking now for more because now they experienced it themselves. A really good South American team. We beat them, we shut them out of the stadium pretty much. But I don't think that they get big-headed now because they sense something that something special can happen now in the next couple of weeks here in the United States. They will have the crowd behind them now in every game as loud as you can just imagine. In Seattle coming back to LA, and then you just want more. So you are just you have so much appetite now. So there's a lot more to come.
JJ, of course, as a player, you want consistency playing with your teammates around having the same 11. We know that this is the first time Poch has played with this specific 11 because, of course, he was waiting for Chris Richards to come back from injury. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is this the 11 for the next game then?
Yeah, you say normally like you never change a winning team, right? That's how simple it is, and I think like even everything worked out. Like even the guys you brought in later on scored too. So you can, as a coach, can say everything worked exactly after plan how we want it. But the most important is like we said before, like we all hoped and see that they go here with the win to the next game, and I think as a player. You now have all that pressure is gone, and it's you know how it goes in even defense. You know, you can hear it now here. Everybody's excited, and everybody's now hoping and looking forward for the next game.
We got to be careful here. The U.S. men's national team has to be careful because I just compared them to the 2002 U.S. men's national team and what they did in Portugal. If you guys remember, they shocked the world with Portugal, and they went on to tie the host country in South Korea. On paper, maybe a team you could compete a little bit more with. And Poland, it was Poland, a team that wasn't in the cards for you to lose to, that you lost by multiple goals. And if it's not for South Korea beating Portugal again, you don't get through the second round. You don't make the quarterfinal appearance. You don't do history with the dos a 0 to Mexico. So this is great. This feels good. This gives the country something to believe in, but the job's not done.
The job's not done. But Jurgen, when you see your 11 work so well like they did, of course we're going to know that Australia is a different opponent from Paraguay. They say horses for courses, but you're not making any changes, are you?
You wouldn't, no, unless somebody is slightly injured or has an issue. But I think we can pretty much expect the same lineup in the game against Australia.
Yeah, and of course, it's funny you do mention injury. We are wondering, of course, why Christian Pulisic came off at halftime. We'll continue tracking that situation. But if we do want to speak about individual performances, Christian Pulisic, JJ, he was lively and he was doing earlier on in the first half exactly what we wanted him to do as a leader of this group.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to play with him as a young boy, and I always said this guy he's the heart and soul of this team. So if he gets a good day, you can actually see that the whole team is lifting. He's lifting everybody, because like I always say, and I don't want to compare him to Messi, but if you see his style of play, how he takes players on one against one, and I had the luck to play against him, and I know how tough it was. And it's not easy to play one against him, and you can able today to see it again that he is a guy who can make the difference, but you need him 100% fit. You need him clear. And what is most important too, that the team around him has to protect him and support him, especially in teams when it goes to more higher countries where you know that they're playing hard, they're picking on him because they know that he's the key player for them. But I think if he stays healthy and he can play with that heart and with that soul, how he showed it today, I think we can have a lot of fun in this tournament.
Yep, as JJ said, he's a guy that you want always at 100%. Herc, we are still trying to see exactly what it is or why Mauricio Pochettino did take him off at halftime. We're going to continue talking about that in just